Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy is one of the NFL draft's biggest risers. Some view him as a bona fide top 10 pick, while others think his draft stock has gone way too high. But J.J. McCarthy is a proven winner with tools and traits and upside to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. However, he does lack some experience, and there are major question marks about his accuracy and other parts of his game that could hold him back at the next level. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the stats on J.J. McCarthy, what makes him so enticing to some NFL teams, why he might go in the top 5 to top 10 picks in the draft, and why other scouts, analysts, and so forth might think that he's better suited as a day 2 selection and somebody that they wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole in the top 10 picks of the draft. First and foremost, J.J. McCarthy is a winner. McCarthy finished his career at Michigan with a 27-1 record, the third best winning percentage by a quarterback in college football history. He finished his high school career with a 36-2 record as a starter. He just won a national championship at 21 years old. All this kid does is win, and he has to be commended for that, because not every quarterback will be the guy who wins the game for you, but many of them will be the guy who loses a game for you. It's nice to have a quarterback that you know won't lose it for you and will definitely be part of the equation in the win. But for some, it's hard to buy in on a quarterback with a lack of relative experience as a passer like J.J. McCarthy. His lack of usage in critical games is definitely concerning. He threw only 18 passes in the national championship, going 10 for 18 with 0 touchdowns and also 0 interceptions. He has only 3 career games with 300 plus passing yards. Can he carry an offense at the next level? That's what I want to break down in this video. Find out what in the statistics and on the film would make him able to carry an offense at the next level and makes him such an enticing prospect to so many teams in the NFL draft. One thing that J.J. McCarthy does really well is throw the ball over the middle of the field, a trait that often indicates whether or not a player will find early success at the next level. He had an 85.6% adjusted completion percentage on 97 attempts over the middle of the field in 2023. This ranked top 10 in college football. He shows great anticipation throwing over the middle of the field and throws with good timing and accuracy while attacking between the hashes. But as good as JJ was throwing over the middle, his accuracy outside the numbers is definitely inconsistent, and he needs to improve in this regard. His 27.1% uncatchable throw rate outside the numbers, according to PFF, ranked 48th out of 105 quarterbacks in college football, compared to his 10.8%, which ranked 5th best throwing elsewhere. You'll hear a lot about J.J. McCarthy being a handoff merchant and how he's a system quarterback, but he's a lot more than that. He has the ability to be a playmaker. He's incredibly good on the scramble drill and posted solid stats on plays where he's moved off of his spot. When moved off of his spot, he attempted a pass on 52% of those plays, meaning he chose more often than not to throw the ball rather than to scramble. His passing results when moved off the spot were 24 for 33, 409 yards, 7 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Another positive for J.J. McCarthy were his combine results. Scouts used to say that J.J. is undersized, too small for the NFL, and had a weak arm, but then he showed up at the combine and looked like an NFL quarterback. He threw the ball 61 miles per hour, top 3 ever recorded at the event. And he weighed in 6'2", 219 pounds, which is a pretty solid size for an NFL quarterback, especially when you consider the fact that some scouting reports a few months ago had him listed at 204 pounds. That added 15 pounds definitely makes a difference and opened the eyes of some scouts. J.J. McCarthy might also be the most mechanically sound quarterback in this class. His delivery is clean. There is little wasted movement in his throwing motion. His release is quick, his base is solid, he's been well coached, and is entering the NFL with cleaner mechanics than most quarterbacks. McCarthy also has very good pocket presence. He's very good at feeling and evading pressure. He has a low pressure to sack rate percentage of 14.1% since 2022. He's faced pressure on 224 dropbacks, and 23% of those pressures were accounted to him, but only 14.3% of his pressures did result in sacks. And when you take a look at his play under pressure over the last 2 seasons and compare it to the rest of the quarterback class, his drop-off in yards per attempt is the lowest of any of those quarterbacks, and he scrambled on only 13% of those pressured dropbacks, meaning he was hanging tough in the pocket and delivering throws under pressure for Michigan over the past 2 years. And when you do take a look at certain graphs that show you the sack avoidance in college versus the EPA per dropback in the NFL career numbers, those who are good at avoiding sacks do tend to succeed at a higher rate at the next level. And another thing to like about J.J. McCarthy, he came to play against good teams. Comparing him to some other quarterbacks in recent draft classes, let's take Zach Wilson and Drew Lock as examples. Their yards per attempt dropped 3 or more yards, while their interception percentage nearly tripled versus good teams. But for J.J. McCarthy, his touchdown to interception ratio versus good teams, 30-6, and versus bad teams, 29-6. His yards per attempt were within 1 yard of each other versus both levels of opponents, and his interception percentage dropped versus good teams rather than rose. If you want to find one game to watch that might make you fall in love with J.J. McCarthy as a prospect, it's definitely his performance against Michigan State. There were pro throws littered all over this game film. He went 21 for 27 for 287 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. If you want to find one game to watch that might make you fall in love with J.J. McCarthy as a prospect, it's definitely his performance against Michigan State. There were pro throws littered all over this game film. He went 21 for 27 for 287 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Taking a look at this film, there are impressive anticipatory throws. There is great accuracy down the field, over the middle of the field, even to the boundary, and on the run. He evaded sacks, moved out of pressure, and really just made some incredible plays in this game. A pro comparison for J.J. McCarthy is not hard to find. Look in those Shanahan-style offenses and find a young quarterback with athleticism and the ability to attack the middle of the field. You're looking at Brock Purdy as a great pro comp for J.J. McCarthy. Now, you also might see some Alex Smith in him, and that's, again, another great comparison. But this is why there are Minnesota Vikings fans that are clamoring for J.J. McCarthy and why he is such a good fit for that team. It's that Shanahan-style offense that attacks the middle of the field, throws with a lot of play action, gets the quarterback out of the pocket, and really, again, attacks the middle of the field rather than the boundary. All of those factors in that style of offense cater towards the strengths of J.J. McCarthy, and his ability to run such a pro-style offense already for Michigan at 21 years old. That should tell you that there are a lot of translatable traits in his game that will make him a success at the NFL level in the right offensive system. But I can't stress that enough, in the right offensive system. There are definitely traits to his game that indicate maybe pressure overwhelms him at times. Maybe he doesn't throw well to the outside of the field and towards the boundary. You need to get this kid in the right offense and give him time to grow and develop. Otherwise, you could be making a player who, again, many view as a day 2 prospect with a lot of room for improvement, could be making him the savior of a franchise when he's not quite ready to do so, and that ultimately might be unfair to him and put him in a compromising situation where he does not reach his ceiling. The bottom line for J.J. McCarthy, he's an athletic young quarterback with all the tools and traits to be a successful NFL quarterback, and he does have experience in a pro-style offense. But he does have his flaws, and his lack of experience leading an offense might make him a little bit of a project in the NFL. However, again, put in the right situation with the right coaching staff and the right playmakers around him, you can definitely see a high ceiling for J.J. McCarthy. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please comment down below who you want to see me break down next. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Plenty more NFL draft and NFL content coming your way right here on the channel. So make sure to stay tuned and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good one and see you next time.